It is Monday, July 13th, 2020, and you are tuned into Dirt Tracker Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. There was a lot of racing this weekend, a lot of really good racing this weekend. We'll jump in and get you up to speed on Ohio Speedweek, the World of Outlaws, Luke Solé Metal Dirt Series, the Summer Nationals, the Southern Nationals, all of it. So let's jump right in. It was another busy weekend for the World of Outlaws sprint car starting Friday night at the 34 Raceway. For the feature, it was Donnie Schatz on the pole, but Parker Price Miller jumped to the early lead from the second starting position. He used the top side in 1 and 2 to clear Schatz down the backstretch. PPM was solidly out front all night, but Schatz was never too far back. Both drivers actually ended up making mistakes late in the going, but it was PPM holding off Schatz to win by only a tenth of a second at the line. Following the race, PPM revealed he ran the last few laps down a cylinder. Schatz finished second, Brad Sweet was third, Carson Macedo fourth, and Jacob Allen was fifth. There was some bumps in turns 1 and 2, and it was crazy late in the race to watch those guys kind of navigate where those bumps were, sometimes well, sometimes not so well. The series then moved to Wilmot Raceway in Wisconsin on Saturday. Carson Macedo was on the pole with David Gravel to his outside, and again, it was the driver on the outside getting the advantage, with Gravel taking the early lead. Sheldon Haudenschild entered the night with 12 consecutive top 10 finishes. He got turned over early in the going, but some incredible coordination in the work area got a front end, nose wing, and top wing replaced on his car, and he was able to return to the race, ultimately finishing in the 8th position. Pretty incredible stuff. Out front, it was all David Gravel. He led all 40 laps en route to his second win of the season. Carson Macedo finished second, Logan Schuchart third, Donnie Schatz fourth, and Darren Pittman was fifth. There was big trouble for points leader Brad Sweet near halfway, though. The oil filter broke off the Napa 49, and Sweet was forced to the trailer. He finished 19th. It was an incredible 2 nights for Philip Dietz. He owns the 14 of Parker Price Miller and then crew chiefs David Gravel's 41, but he effectively handles both cars. Him winning on back-to-back nights with 2 different drivers in 2 different cars is something special. He's got PPM tuned up lately. Gravel, without missing that show, could very much be in the top 5 in points and maybe even higher than that. So he certainly does not get enough credit on a night-to-night basis for all the things that he does and has going on. And then last night, the Outlaws took on the Terre Haute action track for the Wabash Clash. Logan Schuchart started on the pole with Kerry Madsen to his outside. It turned out to be a wild night that saw multiple red flags for incidents and several scary crashes. Thankfully, all drivers involved were okay. Carson Macedo had a wild crash on the front stretch. Something broke in the front end. And then later, Ayrton Geniton went for quite a tumble. There was a few other incidents as well. Brad Sweet actually ended up in the work area multiple times. He had a flat tire early and then was involved in the crash. Crews were able to get him back out onto the track with a new front end, only to then have the left front brake under caution while he was rolling around. That ended his night. He ended up finishing 22nd to end a very tough weekend. Out front, it was all Logan Schuchart, with him leading all 30 laps en route to the win. Behind him, Donnie Schatz put together an epic drive, going from dead last on the field to finishing second. He lost a motor in his heat race and spent the rest of the night playing catch-up. Darren Pittman finished third, Shane Stewart fourth, and David Gravel was fifth. Heading into tomorrow night's Brad Doty Classic, the point situation has suddenly become very tight at the top. With Sweet's misfortune, his lead over Donnie Schatz has been cut to 44 points, with Logan Schuchart only 52 points back. And then Carson Macedo has now kind of snuck quietly into the mix there as well. He's only 88 points back in fourth. Big shout out to Sheldon Haudenschild. His top 10 streak now up to 14 races. Both Darren Pittman and David Gravel have also been very good lately as well. Should be a fun one at Attica tomorrow night for the Brad Doty. You can watch all of the action live on Dirt Vision. We'll do a World of Outlaws DIRTRACKR.com analytics prediction for that race tomorrow on the show as well. Ohio Sprint Speedweek for the All-Star Circuit of Champions wrapped up this past weekend. Friday night at Portsmouth Raceway Park, it was all Kyle Larson in the feature. He led all 30 laps from the pole to take the win over Aaron Reutzel, Brock Zierfoss, Shane Stewart, and Cole Duncan. On Saturday, several guys were actually notably absent from the Speedweek show at Sharon Speedway. Larson, Shane Stewart, and several others actually went over to Atomic for their Fast Series event that saw Hunter Schurenberg grab the win over Cole Duncan and Justin Peck. Back to Sharon, it was Brock Zierfoss who started on the pole, but Cale Conley was not going to be denied. He jumped to the lead early and quickly stretched out his advantage. It turned out to be a night tough on cars and competitors, as a Cowboy Up service led to several cautions and multiple red flag periods through the race. Out front, though, it was all Cale Conley. He led all 30 laps to grab his first ever All-Star win over Corey Eliason, Rico Abreu, Tim Schaefer, and Danny Dietrich. Cale Conley has been good all week long, has had opportunities to win a few of these races, including leading late. Great to see him finally get that first All-Star win. Certainly big for that driver, and I expect big things out of him going forward. He's been really solid here this season, and would expect him to continue improving and getting better as the season progresses. Moving over to Sunday at Sharon, Larson was back with the Speedweek competitors, and he picked up right where he left off, going quick time in qualifying. For the feature, it was Skylar G on the pole with Corey Lyson to his outside. Larson started third. All Aaron Reutzel needed to do to win the Ohio Speedweek title was finish 22nd or better, and with some cars falling out pretty early on in that, he actually clinched the title mid-race. Skylar G held the lead until lap 9 when he slipped up off turn 4 and hit the outside wall. That ended his night. That gave the lead to Larson. Reutzel tried to reel Larson in late, and Larson actually even ended up making contact with the outside wall, but the 57 was just good enough. Kyle Larson took the Speedweek finale over Reutzel with Corey Elias in third, Dave Blaney fourth, and Greg Wilson hard charging to fifth. It was Larson's 7th All-Star win of 2020 that ties Reutzel for the most on the season. Leaving the week now with the Ohio Speedweek title, Aaron Reutzel continues to have a sizable lead over Corey Lyson in the standings. He leaves Sharon with a 136-point advantage. Paul McMahon is third, Zeb Weiss fourth, and Skylar G is fifth. Luxol Late Model Dirt Series was supposed to have a pair of shows at Florence Speedway this weekend, but ended up only racing Friday night. They lost Saturday night due to weather. On Friday night, Jonathan Davenport and Jimmy Owens led laps in the early going, but both would end up crashed later in the feature. Davenport ended up finishing 21st, and Owens in 22nd. That handed the lead to Josh Rice, who was out front for much of the remaining laps, but late in the going, Earl Pearson Jr. ran him down, and the two were side by side coming to the checkered, with Pearson nipping Rice at the line for his first series win of the season and his first win since February of 2019. It was also the closest finish in Luxol Late Model Dirt Series history. Pretty incredible stuff. Behind EPJ and Rice, Zach Dome finished third with Kyle Bronson fourth and Trevor Landrum in fifth. Jimmy Owens continues to lead the points. Lucas Late Models are back tonight at 300 Raceway in Iowa. You can watch all of the racing live on Lucas Oil Racing TV with your subscription. The World of Outlaws late models also had a pair of races over the weekend. On Friday at Outagamie Speedway in Wisconsin, the early going was an absolute dogfight between Ashton Winger and Jason Rowan. Dennis Ern Jr. led the first lap, and then Winger and Rowan took over. Winger was leading in lap traffic on lap 14 when he and Rowan came together, sending Winger spinning out of the lead. Rowan then took over, but Brandon Shepard was lurking. After several attempts, the Rocket number 1 took the lead on lap 33 in traffic. Shepard led the remaining 17 laps to take his 7th win of the year. Darrell Lanigan was second, Nick Envelink third, Ricky Weiss fourth, and Rodney Sanders finished in fifth. On Saturday at the Plymouth Dirt Track, it was Cade Dillard who led the early going from the second starting spot. While working lap traffic, contact with Brent Larson resulted in a flat left front for Dillard, who was then forced to the infield to get that fixed. That gave the lead to Shepard on lap 12. While racing was hot and heavy behind him, Shepard led the remainder of the 50-lap feature to take his 8th win of the year over Jimmy Mars, Chase Youngins, Ricky Weiss, and Scott Bloomquist. Brandon Shepard's lead in the standings over Ricky Weiss is now 170 points. The late models are back Tuesday at Gondik Law Speedway for a 10,000 to win 50-lapper. You can watch that live on Dirt Vision. USAC and War Sprint Cars took to the Knoxville Raceway this weekend for the Corn Belt Nationals. Friday night, it was Tyler Courtney leading all 25 laps en route to the opening night win over Brady Bacon, Justin Grant, Chris Wyndham, and CJ Leary. And then after a long rain delay on Saturday night, it was all Brady Bacon in the Corn Belt Nationals finale. He led all 30 laps to take the $20,000 check for the second consecutive season. Justin Grant finished second, CJ Leary third, Chris Wyndham fourth, and Tyler Courtney was fifth. Justin Grant continues to lead the USAC Sprint Car points over Chris Wyndham. The Summer Nationals lost Sunday's racing at the Bull Ring at Rico Fairgrounds to rain, but did race Friday and Saturday night. Friday night at Tri-City, it was Bobby Pierce winning the 40-lapper over Ryan Unzicker and Rick Ecker. In the modified feature, it was Mike Harrison who drove up from 8th, grabbing his 50th modified National Series win. Really good there from Mike Harrison. Just continues to be one of those guys you have to absolutely watch in the modified Nationals. Dean Hoffman finished second with Hunt Gossam third. Saturday, the late models and modifieds moved over to the Fairbury Speedway. What a pair of finishes we had at Fairbury. Hope you got a chance to check out those highlights. Gordy Gundaker put on a show driving up from 14th to take the lead from Shannon Babb late in the going in the late model race. He drove away to his 4th ever Summer Nationals win. Rick Eckert finished second, and Shannon Babb ended up third. The Fairbury modified feature turned into an absolute battle between Mike McKinney and Alan Weiser. It felt like the two were side by side for every single lap of that race. At the end, McKinney threw a couple of big sliders, which gave him the lead, and then was able to fight through contact in the final corner to beat Weiser back to the line. Fantastic race. Go find those highlights. Summer Nationals is off tonight. They'll be back tomorrow at Plymouth Speedway. Southern Nationals is in action tonight at Volunteer Speedway for night 3 of the series. Chris Madden won the opener Friday night at Smoky Mountain Speedway, and Brandon an Overton 192 at Wythe Raceway. Madden has a slight 4-point advantage in the Tour standings over Overton. You can watch all of the action live tonight on Dirt on Dirt and Flow Racing. As we close up shop today, I just want to give a big shout out to Harley White. She became the first woman to win an ASCS National Tour event on Saturday night at Riverside International Speedway. And if you think this was some soft field that, somehow she just managed to take advantage of, that was absolutely not the case. 37 cars were on the property. Guys like Sam Haverty, Blake Hahn, Scott Boguski. She beat everyone. So great race there from Harley White. Good to see that. And hopefully she can continue being up front there with that series and maybe have a chance to take that championship. Wouldn't that be something? If you want to see more open wheel weekend results, you can check out tjslideways.com. For more late model weekend winners, check out dirtondirt.com. That's it for the show today. Hope everybody has a good Monday. You can find Dirt Tracker Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe and leave a review. You can also watch the show every day on YouTube and Facebook. You can email the show at info@dirttracker.com, and you can follow along at facebook.com/dirttracker, twitter.com/dirttracker, and the website itself, dirttracker.com. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler, and don't forget to sign up for the Dirt Tracker weekly newsletter live on the site. That's it for the show today. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for more Dirt Tracker Daily.